Hello everyone. Today I will be discussing MCQs from the pediatrics for NEET PG exam preparation. The first question is delayed closure of fontanelle is seen in all except rickets, hypothyroidism, craniosynostosis, Down syndrome. The correct answer is craniosynostosis. These are the fontanelles seen in newborn. This is anterior fontanelle. This is posterior fontanelle. In this question, why the answer is craniosynostosis? Because craniosynostosis means premature closure of the fontanelle. This is premature closure. So the correct answer is craniosynostosis because in rickets, hypothyroidism, Down syndrome, we will see delayed closure of the fontanelle. So these are the normal fontanelle seen in newborn. This is anterior fontanelle. This is posterior fontanelle. First one is anterior fontanelle. It is open at the time of birth. It is not depressed or not bulged. It is at the level. It is said to be normal if it is at the level. It is open at the time of birth and anterior fontanelle is pulsatile. And anterior fontanelle closes at 18 to 24 months of life. It is open at birth and it closes at 18 to 24 months of life. What about posterior fontanelle? Posterior fontanelle is closed at birth. It is around 3% of the babies. It is closed at birth. It is open in about 3% of the babies. What is craniosynostosis? Craniosynostosis means early closure of the fontanelle. It is premature closure of skull suture. Premature closure of skull suture. What are the complications of early closure of the suture? One is microcephaly, that is small skull, and there will be rise in intracranial tension which can lead to optic atrophy. And there is abnormal shape of skull. Abnormal shape. What is the treatment for craniosynostosis? That is, we should do craniectomy. This is to allow the brain to grow. Now coming to delayed closure of fontanelle. In what all condition we will see delayed closure of the fontanelle? One is rickets, hypothyroidism, Down syndrome, hypophosphatasia, cleidocranial dysostosis, in these conditions, we will see delayed closure of the fontanelle. Early closure is called craniosynostosis. In craniosynostosis, there will be microcephaly, raised ICT, and abnormal shape. The treatment is craniectomy. Whereas in these conditions, depending on the conditions, we should treat. One of the important topic for today's discussion is congenital hypothyroidism. In this, we will see delayed closure of the fontanelle. This congenital hypothyroidism is most common preventable cause of mental retardation. This is most common preventable cause of mental retardation. Early diagnosis and early halogen supplements prevent this condition. Congenital hypothyroidism. Patient can present with hypothermia, that is low temperature, hypotonia, the muscle tone is reduced, and patient can present with umbilical hernia, and patient can present with constipation, not able to pass stool, and jaundice, that is yellowish discoloration of the sclera and mucous membrane. In this image you can see umbilical hernia. After birth we should estimate the TSH level of the baby. So best time to do TSH level is after 48 hours to 6 days. What is the ideal time? At 72 hours, that is third day. Why only after 48 hours? Because there is something called as physiological surge of TSH. Physiological surge of TSH is seen in 48 hours. So we have to estimate TSH level after 48 hours. The next question is most common cause of neonatal mortality in premature babies. Most common cause of neonatal mortality in premature babies. One is bronchopulmonary dysplasia, respiratory distress syndrome, intracranial hemorrhage, patent ductus arteriosus. The correct answer is respiratory distress syndrome. What are the complications of prematurity? What are the common complications of prematurity? One is respiratory complications. In this, most common is RDS, then chronic lung disease, and bronchopulmonary dysplasia. These are the complications of prematurity, respiratory complications of prematurity. What are the CNS complications? One is we can see intracranial hemorrhage or hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. What are the serious complications of prematurity? Patient will be having hypotension, it is low BP, and patient can present with patent ductus arteriosus. In this session, we will discuss two important complications, that is RDS and patent ductus arteriosus. First one is respiratory distress syndrome. So this is usually seen within first 6 hours of the birth, within first 6 hours of life. And why this respiratory distress syndrome occurs? Because of deficiency of surfactant. Surfactant is produced by type 2 pneumocytes. In this respiratory distress syndrome, there is respiratory rate of more than or equal to 60 and there will be distress. Distress means there is more use of accessory muscles for respiration. Risk of RDS in less than 28 weeks newborn is around 60 to 80%. If baby is more than 37 weeks, the risk has reduced, that is less than 5% because of more production of surfactant. Mature level of surfactant is formed at 35 weeks of gestation. What is the function of surfactant? It reduces the surface tension. It decreases the surface tension. Thereby, it prevents the collapse of alveoli. It prevents collapse of alveoli. So the function of surfactant, it is one of the most important question. The X-ray finding of RDS is ground glass appearance of the chest. This is the ground glass appearance and that is whiteout lung. So what is the treatment for RDS? treatment for RDS? We will give humidified oxygen. Humidified oxygen at around 40 to 60%. In mild to moderate distress, we will give nasal CPAP. Whereas in severe distress, we will give intratracheal surfactant. Intratracheal surfactant. There is something called as INSURF. INSURFE. What is this INSURF? This is intubate. In means intubate. Surf means surfactant. E means extubate. Intubate, give surfactant, then extubate. So in severe distress, we will give intratracheal surfactant. So this is about RDS. Next one is patent ductus arteriosus. This ductus arteriosus is present in fetal life. Here it is present between aorta and pulmonary artery. This ductus arteriosus has to close after birth. It should be closed after birth, but if it remains patent, it causes a heart disease, that is patent ductus arteriosus. It is commonly seen in preterm. In preterm, it is most commonly seen. In terms also it can be seen, but most common in preterm. In preterm, it causes asphyxia, which in turn causes the release of prostaglandins. This is responsible for patency of ductus arteriosus. What is the mode of presentation of patent ductus arteriosus? At 6 to 10 weeks of life, the baby can present with heart failure. In preterm newborns, there is failure to wean off from ventilator. This is because of CO2 retention. In preterm newborn, there is failure to wean off from ventilator because of carbon dioxide retention. Characteristic murmur is heard in case of patent ductus arteriosus, that is continuous machinery murmur. Continuous machinery murmur. It is heard at upper left sternal border. Upper left sternal border. Continuous machinery murmur. What is the treatment of patent ductus arteriosus? There is something called as medical management. We will give NSAIDs because this inhibits the prostaglandins. What are the NSAIDs? Ibuprofen, indomethacin, these NSAIDs inhibits prostaglandins, which are the main culprits of patent ductus arteriosus. If these are indicated or if that is not resolving by NSAIDs, we should go for surgery. Surgery is interventional surgery. interventional surgery using either duct occluders or inserting coils in ductus arteriosus. The interventional surgery is we should use duct occluders or inserting coils in ductus arteriosus. And what are the contraindication for NSAIDs in preterm babies? What are the contraindication for NSAIDs in preterm babies? One is severe thrombocytopenia. In these babies, we should not give NSAIDs. We should go for surgery. If baby is having disseminated intravascular coagulation, if baby has acute kidney injury, we should not give NSAID. So in this patient, we should go for interventional surgery. So this is about the pediatric MCQs discussion. These are the most important topics: PDA, respiratory distress syndrome, congenital hypothyroidism. These three are very important topics for NEET exam. So if you like this video, please click like button and share this video to your friends and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you.